In the run-up to President Donald Trump's national security address on Monday, officials hinted it would set a new tough tone on China. That did not quite happen. Though the closely watched speech saw Mr. Trump call China and Russia rival powers, the rest of the address did not play out as predicted, with the president offering few new details on his China plans. The softer-than-expected speech capped a year of mixed signals on how the Trump administration plans to handle Beijing, deepening questions about the future of US-China ties. The headline of an editorial published by China Daily, a Communist Party-controlled newspaper, captured the confusion. U.S. national security strategy is still a work in progress, it read. Shi Yihog, a professor of international relations at Rama University and a leading expert on Chinese diplomacy, was equally perplexed. What is the strategy after all? It's not clear, he said. Shi, like several other Chinese experts, read Monday's speech as a sign that the White House may adopt a tougher line on China, but cautioned against taking Mr. Trump at his word. China doesn't pay much attention to what Trump says, it mainly pays attention to what Trump does, he said. We need to wait and see what he will do rather than what he said, echoed Lu Xiang, an expert in Sino-US relations at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences in Beijing. The gap between what Mr. Trump has said on China and what he's done is the source of much debate here, and Monday's speech did little to change that. As a candidate, Mr. Trump regularly lashed out at China, even accusing the country of raping the United States. As president, he has veered between tough talk, on North Korea, for instance, and sweet talk, mostly reserved for China's highly respected authoritarian leader, 11 Jipig. Over the weekend, reports circulated that Mr. Trump's speech and strategy would treat China as a competitor and call out the country's economic aggression. But only the first part made the cut. In his remarks, Mr. Trump called China and Russia rival powers that seek to challenge American influence, values and wealth. He went on to say the United States will attempt to build a great partnership with those and other countries, but in a manner that always protects our national interest. The strategy document offered a bit more detail. China and Russia challenge American power, influence, and interests, attempting to erode American security and prosperity, it reads. They are determined to make economies less free and less fair, to grow their militaries, and to control information and data to repress their societies and expand their influence. French President Emmanuel Macron and US President Donald Trump. AFP/Getty Images. French President Emmanuel Macron and US President Donald Trump talk as they leave the Army Museum at Les Invalides in Paris. AFP/Getty Images. German Chancellor Angela Merkel and US President Donald Trump arrive for the group photo at the G7 Taormina summit on the island of Sicily in May 2017. Getty Images. Mr. Trump was pressed on the subject at the G7 summit in Italy. Getty.